I am very thankful, and I want to thank the people of Dún Laoghaire for electing me. I'm honoured to represent them in this historic chamber, and I look forward to doing everything I can to represent Dún Laoghaire. I also want to thank the various deputies here that I spent time with over the last number of weeks, from the 4 parties that the Green Party has met with, and I think that has been a very useful first step so far. And I look forward to meeting deputies from Solidarity, if they will meet me, and with deputies from the Independents, and from any other deputy in this chamber. We're willing to speak to everybody, and we look forward to that process. So far, there are 9 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Ireland. And the advice from the World Health Organization is that when you get these symptoms, when you self-diagnose and think, I may have this illness, that you should isolate yourself for 14 days. And if you work in a large company like Google, and you wake up in the morning and you have a bit of a dry cough and you're not feeling yourself, you've got a fever, you know that you can ring in and you know that you will be allowed to work from home, and you know that you will get full pay, and you know that probably your whole building will be sent home as well, and that there will be no negative consequence for you. But that's not the case if you're working in a job where your job is to serve the people who work in a company like Google. Perhaps you are working in a sandwich bar, or you're a barman, or you're operating a checkout, and your job involves handling food and handling money and handling credit cards and dealing with hundreds of people every day. And it's obviously critical that those people do stay at home when they're ill. But how can they? Because they're in a situation where if they don't earn money, if they don't bring home enough money, they can't pay their rent. They can't make that decision. There is no sick pay guaranteed for people in that situation who need it most. Now there is, from the government, there is illness benefit. And that kicks in after 7 days, except it doesn't kick in. After 7 days, you can apply for it. And if you have enough PRSI stamps, you might get it. But you don't know. And how can you gamble on that future, on the first day when you have those symptoms, and if you get it wrong, and if you don't get the money, you may not have enough money to pay your rent, and you may leave yourself and your family homeless. That's a situation that is utterly unfair, but is also putting society at risk. So I would ask the Minister for Health to speak to the Taoiseach and to speak to the Minister for Social Protection and work out a way that people who find themselves in that situation, who find themselves possibly with those symptoms, that they know that they will receive their pay, their net pay, until such time as they're tested and it is found that they're well enough to go back to work. They need to be given an assurance that's really clear through a communication, through an advertising campaign or through some form of communication, that everybody can understand that the right thing to do is not to go to work that day, that it's feasible and possible to do. I think this is in the interest of the workers, but also in the general interest. There are very good communications from the Chief Medical Officer every day and from the HSE advising people about the status of this coronavirus. And they're generalised. They're the same information for everybody. And yet there are groups in society who are looking for specific information. We're told that if you don't have a breathing problem, if you're not an elderly person, you may be fine if you get the coronavirus. Well, that's no reassurance to people who do have those problems. So for people who have underlying breathing problems, who have illnesses like cystic fibrosis, who have or a rare type of chronic breathing illness like bronchiectasis, those people need specific information. They need to have a portion of the website that explains to them if there's something different they should do. Perhaps their behaviour should be different from the general population. Perhaps they should avoid crowded situations. They don't know, and they're asking for that information. I would like the Minister to consider appointing one person as the contact person for those vulnerable groups to give them their information. Members, thank you very much, and thank you for listening to me.
Well done. Thank you, Deputy.